Hello, everyone. Welcome and welcome back. We're going to go ahead and finish off September before we start assigning the new paycheck for October. And I do hope everyone has been having a good October so far. I am having to do another voiceover because I forgot to unmute the mic. So here we go, I guess. As always, we're going to start with the checking account. There's not a lot here for this one. Some payments, some transfers, the interest for the checking account, which was a whole whopping 23 cents. Woohoo! And then I moved $400 over to the SunCheck account. That's going to be the payment for the car loan for this month. So the payments are getting a little bit higher in value, which is really good. It's what I wanted. Just the same way that the high yield savings is going up with what I'm transferring. So last month, September, I transferred $711.67, which was fantastic. And I do believe it was the highest transfer, or one of the highest at least. And I love that slowly but surely the interest is also getting higher. It's $5 this month, so that's better than August. And then SunCheck, just gonna approve this transaction. It's not cleared yet in the actual account, so I'll just leave it as is and I'll come back to it at a later time. And I think that's it for the checking and savings accounts. Now, going into the credit cards, as we all know, I mainly just use credit cards for pretty much everything. So there's going to be a fair bit that will be fixed on here. What I'm going to do as the budget works itself out is I'm going to call out a few little things that kind of happened towards the end of September. There's 2 entertainment payees in here. Those are new, and I did not have anything budgeted for these. So what happened was I started watching shows that I have been missing for pretty much all year. I watch a lot of overseas dramas, overseas shows, and that was what the subscriptions that I got were for. They were for streaming services that have shows from overseas. And then I started watching a show from a company that puts their stuff on YouTube. Not everything, but a lot of things they do. Yes, I'm going to get to the 188. Give me a second, budget, please. The show that I started watching, I wasn't going to watch until it finished. It was going to be 10 episodes. It was on episode 8. But because I was watching other things, the algorithm for all my social media decided to just throw scenes from the show. And this show was with 2 of my favorite actors who I've watched their other 2 dramas that they were also main characters. And I was getting spoiled. So I did not want that. So I decided I'm just going to start watching it now, and I'll just do 2 episodes here, 2 episodes there. And that way I can give myself time for the last 2 to come out, because it would have been a 2-week wait. That didn't happen. I watched those 8 episodes in one night. I got no sleep because I'm pretty sure the following day I was supposed to work, which I did, but I was so tired. I was slightly falling asleep at my desk, but it was well worth it. These 2 actors have just, every time they're just better and better and better. Their acting ability has just gone up so much. You could tell they've worked on it. You could tell they've improved on it. And it's just fantastic to watch it and to watch them and to watch the whole cast too. They had a really good supporting cast in this one and in actually they've had good supporting cast in all 3 of their shows that they've had. So the show was so good that they had a live stream. They were selling tickets for a live audience reaction to the last episode. It was going to be like a fan meet type thing. And that ended up being $39.40. So that's what that is. I figured it's not that expensive. I can overspend a little bit, take some money from one of the other fun categories, because this was obviously going to go into fun. And a lot of those categories, if I spend a little bit more in one, then I can take from another one. Those are very interchangeable. So that was the only thing that I was going to do. I was just going to buy that $39.40. I haven't watched a final episode stream since last year. I haven't watched any of these shows since last year. I used to be a very big avid watcher. I had about 4 streaming services that just did overseas stuff, and I had canceled them all. in an effort to kind of save money. I think I used to spend over $100 on the monthly fees, the subscriptions and stuff, and it went down to like 60, 70. So was trying to save money at that time. Still am. I'm not keeping all of them. I might keep one or two of them, just depending on whether I have finished watching everything on them or not. So that is yet to come. I might pay for a second month here, but we'll kind of see how that goes. So yes, I bought the night for the final episode live stream, and I really enjoy them because I watched up to episode 5 and I already wanted to rewatch it again, but I made myself continue watching it till episode 8, and then I have to wait 2 weeks for the last 2 episodes, which was torture at that point because it was so good. As I was waiting, I wanted to rewatch everything, but I said, no, let me just finish it and then later on I'll rewatch the whole thing again. Still haven't done that. Still recuperating from all of the emotion that the show gave me. So I got the first night, and after the first night live stream, they announced the box set was available for pre-order. So that's what the 188,671 is. It's the box set. It's the DVD with some special extra stuff in there and blah blah blah. So if I didn't have the $39.40 in the budget, I most certainly did not have $188.71. I'm pretty sure that this is the month, September was the month where I really went overboard, and it followed me into October because I did not have in October 188 set aside for entertainment. I don't even have an entertainment category. You could kind of say that the Stray Kids category, the Stayville, that's kind of an entertainment category because it's music. And technically that's probably where should I put it? I should put it, and I should change the name, but I don't want to. So I put it in timeout, which is for hobbies, which it's fine. It is what it is. So before I bought it, I took maybe like 20 minutes to go through and just see if I was able to like move enough money around to cover certain things for the 39.40, and then the 188.71. I kind of looked ahead to the month, just planning based on my first paycheck and things like that. And I do have enough to cover it and still have enough to send for my goals, which are the savings, the car loan, and the health stuff. So you're going to see when I get to the plan in October that there is plenty to be able to cover all of that and then some. And then I, of course, already went grocery shopping for this $37.72. I know it's in the wrong category. It should be in groceries first half. That will get fixed later on once I realize that it's incorrect. Okay, and then moving on to the sapphire. So, there's a couple of things here that need to be split out. We did have a birthday in September, so some of these grocery things are actually to be split between a couple of different categories. So this 81.33, I think this is where we have some of the birthday things, and then I don't remember what the third one was, or I think it was just groceries. It's just two. I think it's just groceries and birthday stuff on this one. Yeah, it's just groceries and birthday stuff. And then there's another one that also needs to be split up, and it needs to be split up 3 ways. Oh yeah, this 633 was for candles. I remember that because we got back and we realized we don't have any candles. So a few days later, I went to get candles. And then this one gets split 3 ways. So the 46.69. So my cat has this tendency of following me into the bathroom when I'm taking a shower. And then he jumps in, complains, jumps out, and tries to clean himself. And then when I try to towel him dry because he's wet, he runs away. And oftentimes he goes to his litter box and does his business. The problem is he goes in there still wet or damp if I was able to get to him. So he started getting a little stinky. It was a lot stinky. It was very noticeable. So I had to go out and get some pet wipes to wipe him down. And those were somewhere around $11. It was 10 something. So I just rounded it up to 11. The second category that goes here is wellness. We have a little first aid kit thing that I like to keep, with bandages, antibiotic ointments, things like that. And we had run out of a couple of things, so I just went ahead and got a few things to make sure we had what we needed just in case. And then the rest was groceries. And you might think, oh, 39.40. Is this a duplicate transaction from the one that we saw on Venture for the entertainment, for the live stream? No, no. Oh, so apparently the show was so popular that the tickets for the live audience sold out ridiculously fast. So they added a second night. Now the second night they themed it as an after party, so there was no live stream of the episode, but it was, and also the first night wasn't just the episode, it was also the actors were on stage. They sang the theme songs for the show. They had a little bit of a Q&A, and then we watched the episode, and then they thanked their fans and things like that. Their producers, their directors, their other cast members, that sort of stuff. The second day was more of an after party, which is kind of what they titled it. So we didn't have the episode once again. This time it was a lot of more singing, dancing, thanking everyone. And this one was talking about the characters, talking about the relationships between the characters, how the actors felt playing those roles, what was the best thing, what were the best scenes, the behind the scenes of some of the improvised scenes that they had and things like that. And I love all that stuff. So it was fantastic. So yes, I did buy a second day. And I watched it and it was fun. And then Freedom, everything was pretty standard. There was nothing in here that was too out of place. Freedom mostly gets used for just auto pays. I don't really use it a lot when I go out. Sometimes I do, but it's my daily drivers are mostly the Venture card and the Sapphire, but the Freedom is just to keep it open. I just put the streaming stuff on there and any other auto pays that can go out of credit cards. The only thing I would say with this is the 2 gadget and gizmos. That is a new motherboard and a new case because the motherboard would not fit in my mini case. So I got a mid tower to build a new, not necessarily a new computer. It's going to use all of the components that I currently have, but definitely the motherboard that I currently have is malfunctioning. The computer has started turning off again, which is what it was doing earlier this year. When I first started the channel, I was recording off of my tablet. So I had a floating keyboard all over the place, which was very annoying for me. I can't imagine how it was for the people watching. But yeah, so at some point soon I'll get that built up and move things around, and hopefully I don't have to buy any other components. I'm not sure if I might have to buy, well, I'm not sure. I'll get there when I get there, whatever happens. I'm trying not to deconstruct it and rebuild it until I have everything I need, because I don't want to go back to the tablet for these. That's why. So, but for the motherboard, the $30, that's because I used points to pay for some of it, and it was on sale as well. And then the tower was $80. It wasn't like the one I wanted, but the one I wanted was almost $200. And what I did not want was to spend $200. This was when I was thinking a little bit more clearly. This was before all of the entertainment stuff came in. So, it happened. It is what it is. And you'll see that my math, the little math that I did within those 20 minutes to try and figure out if I could afford things, was right. Because my biggest thing is to make sure that if I do overspend, that I can cover them with specific categories. Obviously, I don't want to cover with the bills category and the savings category. That's not what those are for. But I do want to make sure that any overspend can be covered within that month and it does not roll over into next month. So we have started with 7 overspends, and after all of the changes and the updates, we now have 5. So I covered these using a combination of the fun categories and the bare necessity categories. And mostly it was the groceries because I had a little bit left over on groceries from the first half. I think it was $44 or something like that. I was able to cover quite a few things with that. I'm very pleased that I didn't overspend on groceries that month. I think that's one of the only months that I haven't overspent. I was actually under by those $44 if you combine the two grocery budgets. So I was able to use that. And then I used a combination of some of the other fun categories to cover everything else, like the 5-star Michelin and the timeout, which was overspent, of course. For next year, I might incorporate just an entertainment category and just have Stray Kids be one of the entertainment things. I can also plan to have enough rolling in there to balance out when I want to spend on a live stream or a concert or something that I can only watch when I purchase it. So I used Beautiful at some point. Yeah. I didn't really go get my hair cut in September. I'm definitely going to be doing it this month though, because I'm a little floofy. It's a little fluffy and it's not bad, but it's too hot to have so much hair on my head. So it needs to come off. So that's it for September. Like I said, as long as everything was covered, I'm not that mad at myself. I've come to realize that the fun category is very essential for me. I used to not have one for many years, and I used to try to make that work. Or I would have the barest minimum, like the lowest amount, and I would think I can do that. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. Having that fun category has been amazing. It's been great. So, and being flexible with it too. Now with October, my paycheck that came in was $2,093.11. That's really close to what I have in terms of the targets for the month. And I wonder if that's going to mean that I'll be able to put stuff for next month using the second paycheck. Because I covered quite a significant amount of categories with this one. But I guess we'll have to wait and see how that goes. For the vet insurance, since I don't have the discount anymore for the one vet place because I canceled that, it went down to just $60 a month, which is great. I just have to find a vet now. I have to find a closer one so that maybe with having one closer, my cat won't start like getting anxious with how long the drive is taking, because that really was what was happening. He does not like the car and he yowls and just meows constantly, and it's like nails on a chalkboard for me. So I have to drive with the music so loud to drown him out, but then my ears are ringing because the music is so loud. It's a whole thing. So when assigning this paycheck, I wanted to make sure that I covered the transfer that already is going through, of course, the $400. I didn't want to leave that till the end or anything, and then have to sort of look around and see how I could cover it. I just wanted to make sure that it was fully covered. I didn't assign for the savings as of yet because I wanted to see how much I would have left. I definitely want to send around 600 and something, I think, this month, maybe another 700. I know last month I said more than what I had in my annual budget plan, and that was because I was able to. Even with the overspends, I was able to send a little bit extra than what I thought I was going to send. So I think I was going to send another 700. That's not what's going to happen, and you'll see why in a bit. Oh, and this is when I discovered the fact that this grocery should be in the first half of the month. Okay. And I will have to say, I think last month was just not a normal grocery month because I've already overspent on my first half of the month for groceries. So this is a little bit more in line with what usually happens. For wellness, I already got something, so I'm going to cover that. And there's probably going to be a few other things that I'm going to get, so I'll put half of that in there. Beautiful and Escape, I'll leave that aside for right now. Like I said, I do want to get my hair cut this month, but I'll just figure out a time or a day to do that. It's not like it's super important. Like I said, it looks fine. It's just a little fluffier than I like it. The time after time categories just covered that uh halfway. The water is going up. Just we just got a letter saying, "Hey, water bill's gonna go up for everyone." So I'm gonna save up to 95 now, every 3 months, and that should cover it. I might hike that up to just 100, just do it flat 100, but we'll look at it later. And then covered half for eating out, my 5-star Michelin. Because I had like $900 left, I did decide to go ahead and cover some categories that I wasn't going to do at first, such as the beautiful for the beauty stuff. And then I was also able to cover the box set, which I am very excited to receive. So I'm very much looking forward to it. I think the pre-orders end towards the end of October. So after that, it is coming overseas. It's coming from Thailand actually. So it might take another 30 to 45 days after that, just depending on how they manage their sending out of the merchandise or whatever. So with having $700 still available to assign, I did go ahead and assign $567.06 to savings. And the reason for that and why I didn't assign the full 700 is because that has me on track to meet it. And if I assign similarly to November and December, I will have met the $4,000 savings goal that I had set up. So instead of like stretching myself out too thin and sending a lot right now, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Everything else, I would assign out to various different categories. And then we'll see with the second paycheck kind of what I want to do with that. Part of it, I probably want to start sending to next month. It might be a new journey to start being ahead by 1 month. Who knows? Um, we'll see if that happens. I will have to say if I want to be ahead for the 1 month ahead thing, I'll have to update some of the fun category targets just because I usually do overspend on eating out and sometimes on the hobby stuff like is happening right now. I can't say that I won't spend more because there was a few things I didn't get because I didn't want to go over $200. I'm kind of thinking just to get them anyway. So I'll kind of see how that goes. Honestly speaking, like I said just a little bit a few minutes ago, the fun category has been fun. It's been fun. When I first started doing the whole budgeting thing many years ago, I first of all didn't know what I was doing. It took a while to kind of get into some sort of system, but my system was very rigid. I was trying to be very rigid and it wasn't working. Like, I wish I could be someone that would have the goal of every extra penny, just send it to savings. Don't spend any on anything that's not necessary. But that left me feeling so like upset at times because I really wanted something. And I've done the whole, if you want it, put it aside, don't buy it just yet, come back in 24 hours, 48 hours, however long it is. And if you still want it, then get it. I've done that. And that's worked for a lot of things for me. Like if I really think about it and, I want something so bad and I give myself time to think about it and I come back and say like, it can wait or no, it's fine. I don't really need it or want it or anything like that. But there's certain things that I've made myself miss out on that have made me just feel really like not great. Not great at all, not happy about it at all. And it's those things that you want that give you that sort of euphoric feeling, that happiness that I don't think you should miss out on. Like, granted, everybody's challenges are different. Everybody's monetary income streams, it's all different. And what works for one person is not going to work for another. This is just what has worked for me. Having that fun category and actually putting money in there and having it be as flexible as it's been, I think has made this one of my most successful years, where I've actually kept to my goals that I've had. My savings goal is being met. I have no worries that I will not be able to hit those $4,000. My car payments, I wanted to hit, I think, 3,000 this year. I'm well on the way to hitting those $3,000 that I wanted to put aside for this year for the car. Not put aside, but to pay off the car. My shiny teeth category, which was one that was added much later in the year, I've still been able to keep up with that relatively well, a little bit better than I thought I was going to, because it was such a later goal that was added. Earlier, a couple of months ago, I sent out 500 and something into the HSA. I have 600 and something saved up to probably send again. But being able to make these goals and stick to them and still be able to get things that I enjoy, do things that I like, be able to have fun has been so helpful. Your happiness, it's just as important. And I think for a long time I lost track of that. And what would happen was I would deprive myself of things that I really, really, really wanted so much that I would then blow up and I'd use up whatever I've saved at that point, because I would overspend so much getting myself things that I would have to take from savings to fix it. So being able to balance it out the way I have has just been amazing. I can't wait for the end of this year and to get started on my plan for next year. There's going to be more savings. There's going to be changes a little bit to the structure. Not too much it's going to change, but some things are going to like move around where I think they might fit better. But I think that's where I'm going to leave it for right now. I don't want to get too deep into next year. I have plans on certain things, but it's nothing concrete at this time. It's only October. With all of that being said, thank you so much, everyone, for watching and listening as always. And I hope everyone has a wonderful day.